Okay. If you go into the tutorial part of it, this is some of the ones that they have. It's real basic, very basic. I don't even think they have cross-examination on here. You know, but you put a parenthetical in there for readback, and they had changed it several years ago where you could put a parenthetical in there where it just said, you know, court reporter read prior question back or whatever. I don't think you can do that anymore. I think you have to put the exact question in there of what you read. And they had changed that a couple of years ago. But I mean, we'll go in some of these and kind of look at them. You can also do auto includes for, you know, like certain clients that you have, attorneys that you have, to make lists that come up. And this is, you know, so you know, if you have an attorney that you do depositions for all the time, you know, you don't want to have to type all of his information in every time. You know, so, you know, you can go in here, and it was under, I think it's under clients. You can name it whatever you want. Here it was under clients. And then you just put your clients in there with all the information, address, you know, sometimes, you know, usually they'll ask for, you know, their bar number and stuff like that. So you have to have all of that information in there. So it's kind of a lot of information, you know, when you're doing your appearance pages, you know, to put all of that information in every time. So you can do a file that does that. I don't know if you guys have messed with these, you know, at all, you know, and looked at some of them.
There's not a way we can mess them up, is there? If we just click on it and open it?
No.
Okay.
As long as you don't.
I think that's what I'm scared about, is messing them up.
If you go in there and start messing with it, like you go in right here, you go into transcripts, blocks, open your block files, say you go into direct, you know, and it's like, and you thought, oh man, you know what, I'm gonna put the witness's name. E right here, you put the witness's name, it does it forever. I mean, not forever, you have to go back and change it and do this again and set it up again, because you've just changed it to where now the witness's name is in there, and that's in your block file. So the best thing to do, I mean, if you don't like the way something is set up in here, or your boss doesn't, then they're going to tell you, you know, we need to go in there and change, you know, how it's set up. Okay, well then you go in here and set it. Other than that, you know, you really shouldn't, you know, have to mess with it. You should go into, let's see if I, okay, so now you go in there and you want to do, I want to do a direct examination. Now it's in there. Now you can mess with it, and if you mess it up, then all you do is just go in there, delete it, and then put it in there again. But once you change it in the block files, it's changed. And every time you add it in the block files, it's going to come up with that witness's name. Now you can go in there, there's a way of going in there, you know, you push E, well, it's going to say the witness's name. You know, say it was John Doe, you know, and the date was January 1st. See, so now you go in there, you've put it up here, in here where it asks for the witness's name. Y'all see this, guys? Where you come up here, this doesn't show on your transcript. This part does not show on your transcript. That's for your auto include. That's for your auto indexing. Okay? So when you put your auto indexing, that's what that's for. It's telling the auto index that the John Doe's testimony started on page 1 and whatever. But when you put the witness's name in there, you didn't have to do it, again. It already knows and is doing examination by Alex Doe. So where you put the attorney's name up here, it already knew that's who it's going to be on direct examination. So for direct examination from here on out, whether it's redirect, whatever, it's going to go to this guy. It's going to think that it's Alex. It's going to give you the option. When you go through and do the E to make sure that the field it's already going to be in there, and that name's going to come up, Alex Doe. Well, you know what? It may be it may have been somebody different. Maybe defense counsel now is examining his witnesses now.
And so when that happens, you just go in and
change it again.
Okay.
So it's going to give you, you can go in there and always change it. It's not that big of a deal. All you do is press E and hyper keys. It automatically goes to the field here. It's going to put your cursor there. You know what? Well, now it's Malcolm McClinchy. Well, okay. Well, then we need to change it from Alex Doe because it's not his witness anymore. Malcolm McClinchy called the witness. Now he's on direct examination. And now when you prompt it, Alex Doe's name is going to come in there. It's highlighted. All you start doing is typing Malcolm McClinchy, and then it just, Alex Doe goes away.
So as long as we only touch the blue rectangles, we just don't touch the...
Don't mess with the gray stuff. All of that is the auto indexing stuff that, all of this stuff is telling the computer and telling the software what to do. Okay? Yeah. You don't need to mess with that. Unless your, dimensions are off or whatever, then that's where you need to mess with it. But other than that, you shouldn't have to mess with it. If everything is correct, then you shouldn't have to mess with it. All right? Now, like on exhibits, like when I mark my exhibits, mine is like STIBT, First States Exhibit. Ad items exhibit is DLIBT, deliberate. Some of y'all, it may be deliberate. Mine is with an R. DLIRBT is deliberate. But DLIBT for me is ad items because we have ad items. Most of you guys are probably going to do depositions. So you're going to have, plaintiff's exhibit and defendant's exhibit. So DIBT, PLIBT. Pretty simple. So here you're going to have your auto include or your block file to read whatever you need it to read. So you can change it to whatever you want. Or you can leave it and just have it as an exhibit auto include if you're not going to do the PLIBT or the DIBT for all of that stuff, and you don't want to define it, then all you do is auto include every time. Leave this highlighted here. And y'all remember we went through that on block files, right? On how to make a block file, how to make these green things where it's an auto include. Y'all remember? Oh, okay. I'll go through it in a little bit. But you can include all of this right here to where it says exhibit number. So you can go through and type whatever you want. State's exhibit, plaintiff's exhibit, ad litem's exhibit, blah, 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 marked for identification. So if you want to type all of that stuff every time, it's up to you. Or you can have different block files in there to where every time I do STIBT, it states exhibit. I don't want it to come up. I already know it's states exhibit. And I already know that I marked it or whatever because I did STIBT. I want the auto include to come in automatically. I don't want to have to mess with it. The only thing that I want to do is make a fill in blank for the number of exhibit that it is. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, whatever. Whatever they want it marked as, that's what you mark it as. So, you can do that there. And that's what it's telling it right there. Now you can make the parenthetical, back here to where it says states exhibit and leave it just like that where it says number. And then what I do is I do NO period and then whatever number it is. I don't type out, I don't stroke out, I don't type out number every time, NUMBR. I don't type that out every time. So that's how you do that. Okay? Let's see if it'll work. Okay, what it is, add a blank. That's what I was talking about. Add a blank is where the green field comes in. And you can put whatever you want. You can put it whatever size you want. All caps, first letters capped, whatever you want to do, you can put it in there. It doesn't really matter because all it is just to fill in the blank. So you can put whatever you want. You can put, I just want the attorney's name. Anything that's going to help you remember what you're trying to put in that field. It doesn't really matter because it's a form fill-in field is what it is. Okay, so it's not going to go out like that. If you send it out like that, then you missed it. You missed the reason that you put it in there. Okay, so you can go through and adjust any of these block files by doing that. Okay, the Shift E. Are y'all getting this?
Yeah.
Understand?
Volume.
Okay. And you can do it. So say you want to put something in right there, a form field or an add a blank, you can do it right there. You can do it anywhere in the transcript. So if you want to go through and put something in right there, you can. You can do whatever you want. Really, I would suggest that you really do them in your block files. That's really what the block files are for, but you can do it anywhere. So the Shift E is what does that. And that's the add a blank. Okay? Any questions so far?
See how to use auto replacements for error prevention and speed typing. Settings, speed typing. Settings, programming, auto replacements. Eclipse installs a few hundred auto replacements to prevent typing errors. I'll use the modify button to see what this first one means. So if I accidentally type the word can as ACN, Eclipse automatically replaces it with CAN. You can remove items from this list or add without limit. Auto replacements are great for...
Do you understand what it's doing there? So if you have a habit of doing something all the time, and say you type and ADN all the time, you just have a habit of doing it, you just type it so fast, it already knows to change it around. So you type ADN, it's automatically going to turn it around after you've already done it. That's what this is doing on the auto replacements. Okay? It's actually pretty neat. I mean, if you have a habit of jacking stuff up, messing stuff up, but you know, that's kind of what it's doing there.
For speed typing, and the steno that's already in your head makes great shortcuts. After typing the shortcut, pressing the spacebar or enter key, auto replacements are great for speed typing, and the steno that's already in your head makes great shortcuts.
You see what it's doing there?
How does that part work? Because on mine I see they just miswrite like your is instead of Y-O-U-R, it's Y-U-O-R. How does the steno part work? Because you just showed steno.
Yeah, that's if you want to like brief something. So it's kind of a shortcut to put in a brief in there. Here, I'll play it again real quick.
Eclipse automatically replaces it with CAN. You can remove items from this list or add without limit. Auto replacements are great for speed typing, and the steno that's already in your head makes great shortcuts. After type...
You see what it was doing?
Is that only for Eclipse, or
What do you mean?
like can I do that on Microsoft Word and it doesn't on Word too?
I doubt it. I'm sure it's only for Eclipse.
Typing the shortcut, pressing the spacebar or enter key automatically triggers the auto replacement.
Did you see what it did right there?
Bar or enter key automatically already in your head makes great shortcuts. After typing the shortcut, pressing the spacebar or enter key automatically triggers the auto replacement.
Y'all see what it did? So you can go in there, you can go in the transcript, and you know that the shortcut for it, for I don't think, is yonk. All you have to do is write yonk, press the space bar, and it automatically knows to auto replace it with I don't think. Okay? Instead of typing out I don't think, you just type out the shortcut. Okay?
If you notice you've just mistyped a word and the system did not correct it for you automatically, just go ahead and type in the correction and then space over. Then press a Shift-Alt-A will automatically correct the error and create an auto replacement for you. This makes it very easy to teach Eclipse which words need to be automatically replaced.
Y'all see what it did right there? Pretty neat. So if you do something all the time, you know, it's going to know that, you know, you have a habit of doing it, it's going to go back and replace it, or give you the option of being able to replace it. Maybe it's something that you use all the time, like your and your. You know, I have a habit of dragging sometimes my finger on you and your. I don't type it like you guys. I think y'all do you, just the letter U for you,
Yeah.
for Y-O-U. Do y'all?
Yes.
I don't. See, I strike it out Y-O-U. And that's the way we learned in Sten-Ed. So sometimes I have a habit of just dragging the R or whatever. But my Auto Magic keys already knows that it's kind of, that I've already set it up that way. So it gives me an option already. Is it you? Is it your? You know, I know that it's not you are, the contraction, your, because, I mean, for me that's 2 strokes. So it's, you know, that's not an option. So usually it's just you and your. Any questions?
Is that considered a conflict when you do that?
I'm sorry?
Is that considered a conflict?
What's that? The auto replacement? Or the you and your? I didn't set it up as a conflict. I didn't set it up as a 1-2. When you set it up as a conflict, it gives you the you and your every time. So then you have to go through and press 1, 2 every time. I don't want to do that every time.
You can create an auto replacement while you're in the globaling dialog. Just type the letters for your shortcut with the equal sign, and then the text for your global as usual. Eclipse will letters for your shortcut with the equal sign, and then create an auto replacement while you're in the globaling dialog. Just type the letters for your shortcut with the equal sign, and then the text for your global as usual. Eclipse will offer to create your auto replacement, which you can then use anytime you need to type this text.
You understand what it's doing there? You can do a shortcut for something and then kind of tell it what you want it to mean. So when you type in FMC, it's already going to know to type in Ford Motor Company instead of having to type in Ford Motor Company every time. You just type in FMC, spacebar over, it automatically puts it in there. Pretty neat. It's pretty neat if you can remember to do it. It's actually pretty neat. Y'all want to see that again? Did y'all get that?
Yeah.
It's a pretty good.
You can create an auto replacement while you're in the globaling dialog. Just type the letters for your shortcut with the equal sign, and then the text for your global as usual. Eclipse will offer to create your auto replacement, which you can then use anytime you need to type this text.
I'll give you a little bit of advice. I mean, you can do whatever you want or whatever, but you saw how he did the capital FMC? I wouldn't do it. I'd just do FMC. This way you're not doing shift, FMC, you know, whatever. It's just FMC, quick, spacebar, whatever. But you have to make sure that it's not something that's going to conflict with something else, because then it can really change your transcript. I mean, if it's like Williams Institute of Longevity and whatever, and your shortcut was WILL. Well, guess what? Every time you typed will, it may go in there and auto change it every time. So you want to be careful that it's not something, you know, that you just do WIL instead of WILL, even if it is, you know, Williams Institute, you know, longevity, longitude, whatever. You know, you don't have to put the extra L in there. Don't conflict it with something else. Okay? But that's actually pretty neat. Okay, and these are just kind of little exercises. So if you want to go through and mess with it, you know, come in the lesson of auto replacements, and you can mess with it without having to worry about messing something up, you know, instead of going into one of your, you know, transcripts or whatever and kind of messing it up. I don't know what the bilingual demo is. I don't know that you'll ever need it.
Si vous écrivez de la même façon plusieurs mots qui se prononcent d'une manière similaire, il est très important d'en savoir bien définir le sténo dans votre dictionnaire.
Do you understand that? Hmm? That's a bilingual demo. Actually, I don't even know what that's for.